welcome to the Government Affairs Update from ACEC for May 28th, 2021, as we roll into the Memorial Day weekend and the unofficial kickoff of summer. Very pleased to be joined by Matt Reiffer from our GA team because this has been a good week for infrastructure, especially surface transportation related infrastructure. The Senate Environment and Public Works Committee earlier this week on Wednesday morning in a very speedy markup, I have to say, very quick markup, unanimously, and let me put a fine point on that, 20-0 favorably reported the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Act of 2021 out of committee. And hopefully heading towards a speedy floor debate and full vote by the Senate. So this is really a milestone, Matt, for infrastructure, especially reauthorization in Congress. What's your take on what the Senate EPW committee did?
It is a big deal. It's incredibly encouraging for us. We talk all the time about how bipartisanship is still possible in Congress, particularly on the infrastructure agenda and transportation. And the committee's action this week bears that out in resounding manner. That the Republicans and Democrats on the committee, they negotiated for weeks and weeks, months, to put this bill together. It's representative of a lot of the committee members' interests. It's truly bipartisan, and the vote reflects that. And that's very encouraging going forward for the prospects for doing something, not just on reauthorization, but infrastructure more broadly.
Yeah, and if you listen to the weekly digest that we put out earlier in the week, you'll know that ACEC put out a strong letter of support for this bill to the leaders and members of EPW, and this is a really good first step in the process. I think it shows that there is room for bipartisan compromise on infrastructure, especially a recognition, I think, on part of the Senate, and hopefully it'll be reflected in the House that at least the larger initiative that the Biden administration is pushing for on infrastructure is something which is still in process and in negotiations, but we do have a date certain for the expiration of the FAST Act, and there is a recognition that they have to move to get the FAST Act replaced with another reauthorization package. What are probably the standout differences between current law and what this bill proposes to do?
Yeah, it's a good question, Jeff. I'd make a couple points. First of all, just to the process comments you made earlier, I agree with you. And the use of the word, good first step is absolutely accurate. There's a long way to go here. We were here in the same position 2 years ago. The EPW committee approved a bill that's very, very similar to what they did this week. And that stalled out because they couldn't get agreement on the transit side and particularly on the revenue side, finance measures, and how are we going to pay for this stuff. So hopefully we'll get a better outcome this time around. And I think the momentum and the energy and enthusiasm around bipartisan negotiations and the administration's support is going to be really critical. In terms of key changes, I'd highlight a couple things. One is just the overall number. The size of the bill, $303.5 billion for highways over 5 years. That is a major increase over the FAST Act, 34% all in increase in funding over FAST Act levels over 5 years. So it's a huge number, and we're very pleased about that. We like in the bill the emphasis on resilience and responding to and adapting to the effects of climate change. There's a number of new programs and resources made available for the work that our firms are going to be doing in that space. So we're very pleased to see that. That's been a policy priority for us, as well as bridge investment. They stand up a new bridge program in there and direct a huge number for funding to those areas as well. And then the last thing I note is the committee continues to advance project delivery reforms. in the environmental review process. And this is not without, controversy, and certainly a sign again of the bipartisanship and negotiating that had to take place behind the scenes on the committee. This is always going to be a priority for Republicans, making dollars go farther and streamlining NEPA reviews. It's always going to be problematic for a number of Democrats. Environmental community and progressives, I think, were not happy about some of the changes in the bill. But again, it's a result of compromise. These are common sense provisions that ACEC has supported. It's going to support the work that we do and the work that we do for our clients. So, good results on policy and good results on funding, and a lot to like in the bill.
Yeah, you made a good point. I mean, 2 years ago we were kind of in the same position, but it's hard to measure 2 years ago against where we are right now, right? It's a different. There's just a different feeling about where infrastructure is heading, and there's better sense of momentum to get something done than where we were 2 years ago.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, Chairman Carper at the committee markup indicated, his hope that this is what he characterized as a down payment
Mm-hmm.
on the American Jobs Plan, the administration's proposal. Ranking member Capito, Shayla Moore Capito from West Virginia, her comment was that this is the anchor for a broad infrastructure package, and they're going to continue to trade offers, on the broader package this week.
Mm-hmm.
And into the coming weeks. But yeah, this is the centerpiece. And as you mentioned before, with a deadline certain that we need to have something in place before the end of September.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing also that Chairman Carper mentioned in his closing remarks was, given the unanimous vote out of committee, that it should send a signal to the Finance Committee and to other committees with jurisdiction that they're serious about this. And the hope is that they will take this up and be willing to compromise on the issues that presented challenges last time, on the funding, on getting this past the goal line. So hopefully that does carry through. And the point that you made, I think that is something that we support. If we can use this as the centerpiece for a larger infrastructure package, that would be a positive thing, because this is at least a bipartisan bill that serves as the foundation, and hopefully that extends out to the larger package.
Absolutely. And the ACEC and our coalition partners and the different stakeholder groups that we're working with, we're all going to redouble our efforts to the members of those other committees to get them to act and come together, as you said, and then we can get a bill on the Senate floor and through the Senate and get on our way.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, this markup was very, very quick. Tuned in, and they were doing nominations, and then they switched right over to the service bill, and it was 20 minutes, like of not even of discussion. So it shows that this was really put to the floor after a good amount of negotiation and agreement behind the scenes. The hope is that this goes to the floor, to the Senate, with the ability to amend, because I know one thing that we are working towards is making sure that, I mean, this, getting it out of committee is a major step, but there's still an opportunity when it does reach the Senate floor to insert language related to the FAR credits clause. I know that's something which your team is advocating on. I would imagine those conversations with the stakeholders in the Senate are continuing on your side of the house.
That's exactly right. And the markup was an opportunity for us to continue to remind senators that this is a huge issue for the industry and so many of our small business members. And there's a lot of receptivity. There's a lot of interest in being helpful, and both with members on the committee and members off the committee. And we've been engaged with the staff and with the senators, and we'll continue to be that. So yeah, we're certainly going to continue to pursue that, and there's many more opportunities for us to advance a legislative fix in that area in this package.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be posting updates as they are made available, of course, to the advocacy page of acec.org, as well as our blog, Last Word, and right here on the podcast. So stay tuned. We will be updating you as more information becomes available. But for now, Matt, thank you very much for that update, and have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks, Jeff. Have a great Memorial Day weekend too.
Yeah, hopefully the weather. If you can hear the thunder out back, it's we're getting a storm now. Hopefully it all blows through.
My kids want to. Our pool opens this weekend. My kids are eager to go to the pool, but the forecast is for mid 60s and rain.
Yeah,
Not
well,
cool weather.
you can't win them all. You can't win them all. At least you can go outside now, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
Um, so, but Matt, take care. Thanks again and again. This has been your government affairs update for May 28th, 2021. And we will see you next time. Stay safe, everyone.